Hey guys, what is up? My name is Andrew Dabgood here, and I'm going to be trying my first podcast. I've got someone with me. I've got Elder Spark. Say hello.
No.
And for this podcast, I thought I'd just talk about video games because I didn't want to go into anything controversial right now. Thought that'd be a bad idea. So essentially, what's going to happen is, I've got written down on a piece of paper a genre of a game, and then he has to kind of talk about like what he kind of likes about it and things like that. We've got to kind of discuss that. I've got about 7 or 8.
Nice. I
Well,
don't know. I haven't prepared anything you didn't tell me.
I know he went in blind because I just wanted to annoy him a little bit because I'm a horrible person. Well, the first one isn't really a genre, but it's talking about like upcoming games. Like, which ones are you really excited for?
I'm not sure. If any, I'm probably most excited for rather COD this year because it's going to be boots on the ground. I'm pretty excited for the new
Yeah,
Zelda game.
yeah. I mean, what's the Zelda game going to come out on? Is it going to come out on everything?
Nintendo Switch, I think.
Yeah. And also, what do you think about the Nintendo Switch?
It's kind of controversial actually. Nintendo they're not doing as well anymore.
No.
They're obviously trying to pull back from the Wii U,
Yeah, because
which is pretty funny.
The
It's a failure.
Wii, the Wii U was horrific.
Um, but I think it has potential.
Yeah, I mean, I think if they market it right, it could be very good.
I haven't actually seen much hype, which is a good thing,
Yeah,
because hype's what kills a game, so, and a console.
yeah, because
Like No Man's Sky.
yeah, we're not referencing any games. We don't do that. No Man's Sky's terrible. Just, any other games you're excited? Any other games you're excited for?
um, what games that are coming out or games that are out that I haven't got?
No, like games that are coming out this year, like upcoming games of 2017.
Oh, the Mass Effect is remastered, isn't it? Insomnia or whatever it's called. I don't know. I'll
Yeah,
search it right now.
like Mass Effect Insomnia, I think it's called.
It starts with an A.
Yeah, I thought it was meant to be a
Oh, and
continuation.
Andromeda
Dreamnia. What?
and Andromeda. I don't know.
What about like For Honor or Good Ghost Recon
But on that,
Wildlands?
that's already out.
Oh, well.
Um,
What about
Ghost Recon Wildlands is already out. I'd say
too many games already out already? It's annoying.
For Honor. It's all. I was in the beta, but there just wasn't much to do. You
Yeah,
played it once, you played it. Like, I mean, it's different every round, but it's just not fun. They need to add a bit more.
yeah.
I
Like
haven't played the story yet, so
if they've
maybe
had
that's
if they've
potential.
added a bit of depth to it, maybe do you think you'd get it or think about it?
Probably yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
just if I got it right now and downloaded it, I'd play it and then I'd be bored.
True. Yeah. There's not that much to do.
Hmm.
All
No,
right.
but I'm pretty hyped for Mass Effect. It's Xbox One, Windows, and PS4. So,
True. Sounds like.
if you've ever played the Mass Effect games, they're really good.
I mean, I did play a little bit of Mass Effect 2 because I've got on the piece because I got it for free. But
Yeah, that's probably the best one.
yeah, I need to get into Mass Effect.
You hyped for any games?
Um, the games I'm kind of hyped for are probably well, it's already out, but I think the game that I'll probably buy this year is Ghost Recon Wildlands because I just really enjoyed the co-op of it. Like I really
Hmm.
just enjoyed either playing a mission properly or just messing around with you basically.
Yeah. Wildlands. It didn't really ring any ring any bells. Is that the right? I don't know.
It it
It
didn't
didn't
it,
really.
it didn't kind of interest you that much, did it?
No, it's just it was a bit like just there's nothing to do either. Like the story, it's not really it doesn't really involve you much. You don't know what's going on half the time. It's just not a good story. The co-op, yeah, it's fun. It's pretty good fun, but I wouldn't say I'd sit there and just play it.
Yes.
I couldn't just sit down for hours and play that game. It would be
So,
boring.
in your opinion, what would make the game like a lot better? Like if you could control how the game, like how the DLCs were made, what would you add to it?
Well, I'd completely remake the story because it's kind of if you take in comparison to GTA.
Yeah, GTA.
GTA is really successful, and they're pretty much in a way similar. They're open world. There's lots to do, but it's just there's a huge world, just not a lot to do. With Ghost Recon's, but GTA, there's a really good story that really gets you in depth with the characters and
Yeah.
stuff,
I
and that's just something that you can't do in Wildlands.
yeah, I need to get into GTA. Just share the game with me after all. I should start playing that more.
Mm,
Yeah.
GTA is pretty good.
Alright, so now I've talked about upcoming games. The next genre, the first genre we're going to be talking about is open world games.
Oh yeah, like The Witcher and stuff. The
Yeah, like
Witcher.
The Witcher, again GTA 5, and just any open world game. Like,
Sorry about that.
just it was silent, and then all I heard was screaming.
But yeah, she set my dogs off. But Witcher 3. Is that what we were talking about? Open world games
Just,
and Witcher 3 and stuff.
just open world games in general. Like, what do you like about them?
I like the freedom.
Yeah,
If you think about it, it's so fun to mess around on open world games if you know how to mess around. Like Just Cause 3, GTA, Wildlands was actually pretty fun to mess around on, but not for too long because there wasn't stuff you could really mess around with.
yeah.
Every time you had to do something, there was always something stopping you. Like, say you wanted a helicopter. To get a helicopter, you have to kill hundreds of thousands of enemies on hundreds of thousands of health and hundreds of thousands of unlimited ammo and stuff like that.
True.
Not over exaggerating.
Alright. Not an over exaggeration, no. No. One open world game that I really enjoy personally is Dying Light, another game you shared with me. I like because there's although that the space right now is quite limited, it gives you lots of ways to move around it. Like you can go on rooftops, you can yeah, and I haven't unlocked the grapple yet, but I think I'll have a lot more fun once I unlock it.
You will. It's you look at near the end of the game pretty much, so
Yeah.
around 16 hours in, I'd say, depending on how if you actually watch cutscenes and actually look for things and more in depth than just speed running the thing.
To be,
Um,
the first time I play a game, I like to speed run it, and
oh
then the
no,
second time.
that's the opposite. You have to do
Yeah,
it the other way around.
I know.
You listen to the story and you get really intense. The second game you play, you just speed run it because you know exactly what you're doing.
Yeah, but then again,
But
people talk about everything, so everything's kind of spoiled for me, apart from Dying Light, actually.
your point.
Yeah, I'll watch all the cut. I'll probably go on YouTube and watch the cutscenes up to the ones I haven't watched yet. Knowing me.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll do that.
it's not very smart. I'd rather play it.
Yeah, true. Because you gotta get involved in it the first time. What about what type of other open world games do you like that you could sit on and play for absolutely like hours on end?
Witcher
Witcher, yeah. So what do you love?
1, 2, and 3. What do I love? Well, start the story. If you know what's going on, and it's like Game of Thrones. The story, if you know what's going on, it's brilliant. If you don't know what's going on, you might as well just stop.
Yeah, like I played a little bit of the Witcher 3, and I did enjoy everything, and I'd also like how big the world is. Like I've only played The Witcher 3, but the world to me was absolutely massive. And it looked really gorgeous as well. Like
Ultra, yeah.
I thought it was beautiful.
I think that the game could have worked well with to fix it a bit is fast travel. It works, but there's not many locations, which is a good and a bad thing.
Because
So say if you wanted to go to, for example, I don't know, I can't remember any of the places. You wanted to go over there. The fast travel, it takes you like 10 kilometers near it, and that's the closest you can go. So you have to do the rest on horse, and there's all this thing stopping you getting there. And that's also what drains the game's length, and that's a good and a bad thing. The longer you play it, obviously, the funner it is, but you start to lose, like, sense in the story, and you just start getting bored of just walking towards your objective and then start hitting all these monsters and stuff.
yeah,
But
because
that's one of the only problems I have with it. Everything else is pretty much positive.
yeah, I was gonna say like I can't really complain about The Witcher 3 apart from like I never really used the fast travel because I just thought it was pointless. I spent most of my time on horse, and then I'd always get into random fights that I don't want to be in. So yeah, but I think apart from that, I think
I'd also, the only other one thing I would say is boss battles. They're really fun, but when you, it's really hard to fix this. When you die, you respawn in
yeah,
the middle of a fight with half health or whatever health you were on in that part, or you respawn before the fight even started with however much health you're on. I'd like it if you respawn with full health,
Yeah.
because it gives you more of a chance. Because if you've messed up then, due to say your health being too low and you just taking a couple hits, then how is spawning again with the same health you started with gonna help? And the
Yeah.
fights can go on for a while, like Dark Souls. They can go on for at least 3 hours.
Bec-
The last couple fights I'm on about, I'm not on about like little guys. Like I mean the main fights.
yeah, the main boss fights, they could take hours.
It depends how skilled you are and what difficulty you play on. If you play on easy, then you're just going to glide through it. But if you play on hard and extreme and stuff to make the game more fun, it it makes you want to basically break things. It's just not fun.
Yeah, like Dark Souls.
Yeah.
Dark Souls make you want to break things. I think we've talked a lot about open world. Do you want to move on to the next genre?
It's your podcast.
Yep, the next genre we're going to be talking about are first-person shooters. Now, this is going to be interesting.
Our main games that we play are first-person shooters.
Yep, that's why I chose
And I
it.
love them.
We've got a lot to talk about. Yep, I love them too. And so, but I mean, the one that we're playing a lot and we love right now is Battlefield 1. Simply because it's based in a setting that we both enjoy. Like, we really enjoy World War One settings.
I don't think it's more the setting. I think the setting really does help that you're not extra jumping around the map. I think
Extra
it's
jumps.
the errors they made with releases of stuff from Battlefield 4. If you ever did do the Battlefield 4 release, which I'm pretty sure you didn't,
No, I didn't.
um,
I'm a faggot.
was that everything was broken and it was just pretty much unplayable. There was one weapon better than the others, which I think was the M416. I'm not sure, but anyway, um, they've got all their errors and they've completely fixed them. They've had the open beta, they've hyped everyone up, they've got really good trailers, and the gameplay is really fun. Always something to do in Battlefield, whether it's grinding camos and masteries, or whether it's just XP and grinding class levels and stuff. It's just there is a lot to do, and there is a lot of downsides to the game, but
Yeah, I mean,
I can't think of many off the top of my head.
yeah, like sometimes there are like glitches, like you. I think there are occasional Battlefield 4. There's occasional game breaking ones, but I think most of the glitches in FPS are just like disfiguring characters, and they're very funny.
Mm.
Like, I don't think there's that many groundbreaking glitches in
Yeah.
good like
No
AAA
invisible
shooters.
spots that you could just shoot the ground and kill the whole team and stuff, which is pretty much hacking, not glitch, but you know.
It's like,
I'd say
it's like
I've only had 6 glitches in the beta, and since release I've had 4, or 4 or 5 in the betas. Beta was out for like, what, a week, 2 weeks? And the game's been out for a couple months, and I've had less, so they've definitely worked from the beta.
yeah,
Although the beta one map,
yeah. Which map was it on the beta?
Sinai Desert, I
Oh,
believe.
yeah.
But I find the map's interesting, and I can't wait for the more DLC because they are bringing new weapons, which is one thing I have just realised a flaw. It's Battlefield 4. You know I grinded every weapon unlock, and I have unlocked every weapon in Battlefield 4.
But now they're going to
Um,
introduce new weapons,
and
aren't
that
they?
was what kept me playing the game. But in Battlefield 1, you can't grind guns. I mean, you can grind class ranks, but that's just using the same gun every game, changing it up a bit, but having to use the same class over and over and over again for hours and hours. And that's just not fun to grind.
No, it's not.
But they are adding new weapons, which is good. They are adding 4. I can't think of them off the top of my head. There's the shotgun,
Oh yeah,
the LMG, the Shoshat,
yeah, huh?
the Lebel sniper, and the
Mhm.
medic gun, which I can't remember what it's called, but it's got like 6 bullets and it does a lot of damage.
Yeah.
But you don't grind for them by playing the class. You grind for them by playing weapons and, for example, getting 50 headshots with that weapon and 10 kills with that weapon and stuff. Like Battlefield 4 was, for example, the Gold Magnum. You had to sit at the top of the tower on, I think it was Firestorm or Caspian Border, and you had to get a marksman ribboning around. And those were challenges they're frustrating, but they're fun to unlock, and you can just sit there and play it and unlock them without
Yeah.
having to find the same gun and sit there for hours and hours. And that was fun, and I enjoyed doing that, and they are bringing that back. So that was a flaw, but they're fixing the flaw.
Yeah, so they're trying their hardest to fix it. I think that's kind of the main thing.
Yeah, grenade
Like-
spam. Everyone knows grenade spam. Spawn as an assault class. You've got the anti-tank mines. You've got the AT rocket gun. You've got all your grenades. You could just launch them onto an objective and clear the room.
Yeah.
But in the CTE, they
Yeah.
have actually fixed that. Apparently Westy. This is all Westy's info. I haven't actually played the CTE. I don't have Premium Edition. Um, you can basically the grenade spam is fixed. So there are errors that the community have found they are fixing. Unlike
Yeah.
that Call of Duty, which the errors they have they are making worse, like supply drops and pay to win.
Yeah, like I was gonna say, let's shift the conversation away from Battlefield because we can praise it all day. Me and him just love the game. We have a little bit of a bias towards it, but I just wanted to talk about Call of Duty for a minute because we don't
Mm.
play as much Call of Duty as we used to. We switched to Battlefield, but
Battlefield 4 we switched to, didn't we? From
yeah,
Ghost. No,
yeah.
from after Advanced Warfare, so Black Ops 3. I don't know, because we kind of played both, but then we started Infinite Warfare. We haven't played together
Well,
once.
I
He hasn't
mean,
even got the game.
to be honest, I mean, I did play a little bit of this um, because on PS4 there was like a thing where you could temporarily like own the
And
game for yeah, and I did play it, and I found the multiplayer to be. I mean, I found it to be okay, but something I can't really get stuck into. I found it too similar to Advanced Warfare, and I found that game a little bit of a mess. Much fun as
Advanced Warfare was the game I grinded the most.
yeah, like
I'd say it wasn't the best, obviously, definitely not. No,
no,
but I'd say Infinite Warfare is the worst COD to date.
yeah,
It's just a failure. No offense to them. There are some good sides to it. I mean, it's fun. There are quite a few camo challenges to go for. It's just I couldn't sit on it all day and play it
and
like I
one
could with Black Ops 3.
and one thing is I did really also like the zombie mode in Infinite Warfare. You got to play that, and I found and
No,
I mean I found the storyline to be not the best, and I found it to be quite like not very interesting. And we know that, and I can understand that they can't do one that's in, and I can't understand they can't follow on from the Treyarch zombie story, which is undeniably the best zombie story. But I think they could have
mm,
tried a lot harder with the storyline because I've heard about the new DLC for Infinite Warfare is kind of set in like well when like Jason Jason voice that place like it looks like a murder cabin type thing, and I think he's trying
mm.
too hard to try and get like an 80s reference in.
I think what they're doing is they realize the success of Treyarch zombie story, and basically they're doing everything for sales and money. That's why they have added supply drops into games they shouldn't have. Remastered COD 4. Sorry, I'm feeling a bit ill. But I definitely don't think that they're like they added it for fun and stuff. They definitely added it to try and get sales. They were like, yeah, we've got a story mode. It's got a zombie mode. It's got a bit of a story to it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You don't need to unlock it in a supply drop, which is good. So yeah, buy our game. I don't think they added it because they wanted to.
Yeah,
But
like
I felt sorry for Treyarch for Black Ops 3 because they didn't actually want to add supply drops. It was Activision side of things. If you knew all the stuff that went on with that
yeah,
last year, so I'm
because
not going to get too involved with that.
yeah, I was gonna say we're trying to stay away from controversy, aren't we?
Indeed.
We're trying to stay away from a lot of controversy. But but what kind of, but do you know any like kind of underrated like first person shooters? Like, because we're talking about big companies, but are there any smaller company games that you'd like to give a like praise or like a mention?
First person shooters, smaller companies.
I know there's not.
Hmm.
I'm not sure
I don't
there's.
play many really low first person shooters. I know games that are in betas that they are fun to play, but I wouldn't sit on all day because there isn't obviously a lot to do, and I'm not very good at them. But I'd say Dirty Bomb. There's Paladins as
Yeah,
well.
Paladins is actually pretty good, and it's also free, which kind of
Both of
help.
these games are free. Dirty Bomb and Paladins. They're only on PC, however. I don't think they're on console.
No, I don't think so. I
But
think most
definitely
free.
worth trying if you have PC,
Yeah,
especially as soon as they're free.
yeah.
They don't require a Titan Pascal to run. Just a 1080 Ti. No.
Just a nice 70 graphics card. 200 quid down the. No. And I was gonna say, what about the like competitive side of FPS, like Counter Strike and things like that?
Counter-Strike, I play a lot of that game.
Yeah, you have multiple hours, don't you, on
I
it?
have multiple opinions on it as well. It is fun to play, but it kind of forces you to play. You can't just say, I don't want to play for a couple weeks or so. I'm just going to take a break from Counter-Strike because you'll lose your rank. And it's the type of game that it really forces you to play and forces you to do well in order to win and actually have fun. Because if you're a low rank and you keep losing it and getting banned and stuff, it's just not fun. But then again, they have to be very serious with competitive shooters.
Yeah, like it's hard. I think it's hard to find a balance between like
Mm,
like a game to be competitive and casual
and
at the same
fun.
time because
Mm.
cause I think Call of Duty is like quite
I think
casual.
they've
It's
done
meant
a
to be.
great job with what they've done so far, though.
Yeah,
They have made it fun and they have made it competitive, but
and
there's more
and
competitive side to it.
I think what's more impressive is the massive community around Counter Strike. Like, as a big community, there was mods set up. You could trade skins. I think it's a whole other
Yeah,
level of FPS.
it
Really, it's
wouldn't
like
be as popular if it wasn't for skins, I'd definitely say, and they do involve community skins. Most of their skins they involve are made by the community.
yeah.
I'd say two-thirds. But I'd say one way they could easily fix this is if you don't play Counter-Strike a lot and you do have a rank, don't take the player's rank away from them if they don't play for example a month or so.
I
Leave
think
it with them, and if they do bad in like 7 or 8 games in a row, five, six, seven, eight,
yeah.
whatever, take their rank
I
down a
was
bit.
gonna say
Don't
I
take
think
it away from them because they can't play for a bit, because it's not always their fault. They have holidays as well,
yeah
2 week holidays. They
because
come back,
not
loads of games gone.
I was gonna say
Right.
not everyone has the time to like grind game to cram games like Counter Strike because most people like who are gamers I think have jobs because
Mm.
gamers because because the average age of a gamer is quite old now. I think it's like near
Counter Strike. Also, school and stuff. You get home, you've got homework, you got to sit with your family, you got dinner, you got to shower.
like everyone's
There isn't always time to just sit down and play up to 90 minutes in a competitive matchmaking.
yeah
Um, and there are also a lot of issues with, for example, if you get kicked too many times, you get banned. I don't think that should be fun. For example, if you got bad ping, your internet's messing up today, you want to play a couple games, you go in because you don't want to lose your rank, because you're forced to go in, and you get kicked and banned. I think you should get kicked, that's fine, but banned for example 6 weeks you can get up to. I think for griefing, that's just not fair.
no I don't think so.
But yeah, that like you say there, they have to balance it.
Yeah they have to balance it, but at the same time like I think what kind of got people's attention in the first place was the competitive aspect, but they also need to realize that there are gamers in place who also again like not only have the time but like may not have the effort and just want to play a couple of casual games.
Mm,
Like even the mode that's labeled casual can get quite competitive in the chat. So I think this,
mm.
yeah,
I mean, it's a lot more chilled, and they have done a lot of work to it. It's a very fun game. If it wasn't, it wouldn't be as successful as it is. But there are lots of flaws I think about. Most of them is revolving around being banned. I've been banned for a week once, and I haven't been banned in ages. But it's people I play with who, for example, get banned weekly for a week, just because of silly little things like ping increased a bit, or they throw a flashbang, flash their teammate, and their teammates are all teamed up and kick them, and they get banned for nothing. But silly little things like that shouldn't be banned for. But I do think it is a fun game.
yeah. I mean, I've personally enjoyed playing it, uh, and kind of changing the FOV and
Mm,
everything and all the modding maps like surfing and things like
they're fun. There's lots of little things to do inside because it is a sandbox game at heart, I'd
yeah
say, like Gary's mod,
yeah
sandbox. But yeah, it's also a competitive shooter.
yeah. It's just hard to find a balance. I think that's kind of the main problem. Is
Mm,
kind of it's hard to find a balance.
mm.
Do you think we've talked enough about
I
FPS
do, I
shooters?
do, I do. I was about to say, do you want to move on to games, another game,
Yeah, another
or we
genre
could move
games.
subjects quickly because we don't want to drag it on too long.
Okay, what
It's up
subject?
to you at the end of the day.
Um,
Subject, I'm going to talk about, if you don't mind,
alright,
games. This won't be very long because I have something else to talk about afterwards. The games
alright.
that force you to, for example, play with friends. Otherwise, it's not fun. For example, Armor, DayZ, H1Z1, and Ghost Recon Wildlands.
Games that kind of make it that you have to play with a friend to unlock the full experience.
Like
Yeah.
Ghost Recon Wildlands, playing it solo is boring. Playing it with the squad it gives you or random squad online, they're not always going to communicate and be fun.
No, like some
And
people are just like out for
you need to have
themselves.
fun in that game. Otherwise, it is boring, which is pretty much every rule of every game.
I mean, I think there should not only be. I mean, I do agree that for most games, having a friend with you is a lot makes it a lot more fun.
It does, but
But
not everyone has.
not
No, I know this sounds mean, but friends that have the exact same games as them. For example,
or have them on the same
PC
console.
community is exactly harder. Is harder as well because not every their best mate that they like playing games with might not have a PC that can run certain games like Ghost Recon Wildlands, and that's an error. Also with the what's the word majority of the PC players as well, and their friends at school, for example. How many do you know that? Well, actually, that's a stupid question because I know you know quite a few. But
Yeah.
my school, for example, have custom PCs and can literally just, for example, in the beta download Wildlands and stuff and play that. So they just have to basically find people online, and not everyone you can find online is going to be like a friend.
Yeah, like there are some people on the internet who I'm just gonna say it, just complete.
Example,
Just,
carry on. Sorry.
I mean, I know you're gonna say for example, for example, yeah, like
No,
not
I was going
everyone.
to say
This is a little bit awkward.
no. I'm trying not to interrupt you, so I keep stopping. I was going to say, for example, Call of Duty Zombies. How often do you want to do an Easter egg, but your mates aren't on? Or, for example, you just want to play, and you're with horrible players that don't revive, they don't buy doors and steal box and stuff like that, steal kills, steal windows.
They are
It's a
very,
bit like that. It just makes the experience less fun.
yes, they're very annoying people to deal with.
I mean, there's an easier way to communicate without talking on PC. There's the chat, but you have to stop and start typing. You can't play at the same time. It's very risky in zombies as well.
Yeah,
You could
because
just be in the middle of a round and ask someone to run over and to escort them to Jug because that would take a while to type and you could die.
yeah, and even if you shut it down, some people may get a little bit confused with like typing language. Yeah, trying to think of something to say, but I
Mm,
just think kind of in general being forced to play with a friend is
is
like
always the best
it,
method.
yeah, like I get it, like some like all games are better with a friend, but you also need to understand that not everyone can have their friends with them 24/7, and they need to have an experience which is just as fun if you're on your own.
Definitely.
Yeah. So what else did you want to talk about?
Um, this is a subject I saw in the Neebs podcast,
All right.
but and there are, if you've ever seen that one, there are going to be maybe a couple of the things, but weird world records. I thought these are quite interesting, actually.
Yeah. All right.
It's for example, this lady called Elaine Davidson. She has
Won the world record for
the most amount of piercings on the skin in a lifetime.
what?
How many do you think? Have a guess. Have a guess.
Okay, let's see. Well,
Tell if it's higher or lower. I'll
she's
give you three guesses.
she's obviously a psychopath. Is it under 1,000?
No.
Is it 1,856?
Nope.
Was I
Higher.
2,473?
Nope. Higher.
8,962?
Nope. Lower.
Okay. I've taken my three guesses. How many?
She has 4,225 piercings, most of which are on her face.
How can you
She
fit?
looks like a mosaic.
How many? How many?
I'll send it to you. You can put the image on screen. I'll send it to you through Skype.
All right. All right. Yeah. Just
Um,
open Skype real quick, guys. We'll get the image. Just looking at it and not even open, I can tell she's a crazy person. So, guy.
Also, longest distance keeping a table lifted with the teeth. And the photo's a man lifting a table with his teeth, obviously, but a woman who
Oh.
sat on this table. As you can see, I'll send you the photos so you can put them on the screen. So people who are still here, which would be pretty surprising, jokes, know exactly what it is.
True. Yeah. True. Yeah.
So have you seen them both here?
Not yet. It's taking a while to open. I was just
Ew.
gonna edit them in, but I could just yeah. So here is the woman with with all of the piercings. She actually looks like she's going to kill me in my sleep. Not gonna lie. Let's move on to the next photo. Oh, pretty weird record. I mean, he has pretty good. He has pretty good jaw structure though. Not gonna lie.
I say.
I'll say.
This is one that you might like, the oldest male stripper.
Riveting.
Just no.
Lol.
He's 60.
Wow, pretty young then. Nah. Are you sending me the photo?
Yeah.
Oh god, I can already sense cringe.
Sending it now. There you go.
Oh god.
I'll save that image.
I'm not saving that image, lad. I am not. I am not saving that image. I mean, I do know a couple of people who would, but I'm not one of them. So.
Most canned drinks are soft drinks opened by a parrot in 1 minute.
Parrot.
Have a guess. In a minute.
72.
Lower.
25.
Higher. Remember, it's got to do it with his beak.
Oh, 50.
Lower, but that was 3 guesses, so the answer is 35.
Alright, that is a lot of
Yeah,
cans.
that's probably more than I could do.
Yeah, even though fingers are far more sufficient. I'm not saying that because I have a bias against the human race or anything.
That's a weird one. The longest kiss ever lasted 58 hours, 35 minutes, and 58 seconds. The furthest arrow shot using feet.
Using feet? Bit ridiculous, you know? My friend.
From 20 feet, she hit the bullseye using her feet. She was like stood on her hands and like curled around. I'll send you a photo.
Alright, we'll have it on screen in just a second.
You don't need the photo of the parrot opening cans. It's not very
That's a bit
like that.
It's just like a carrot.
Yeah, that's pretty much all of them. Thought it'd be pretty interesting.
That is actually, she is flexible. Damn, she's flexible. Pretty impressed with that, not gonna lie. So do you want to move on to the next genre of game before people click off?
Yeah, we could do it. End it after that if you want. It's been at least 30 minutes. So
Yeah,
good.
it's been 32 minutes and 45 seconds.
Nice. So last topic.
The last topic. Okay, this one may trigger you a little bit, but I'm gonna be talking about survival games, or we are.
Yeah. What, like Rust, a bit of
Yeah.
Ark?
Yeah, like
Okay.
yeah, just any game where like survival is an aspect, like where you need to
Minecraft.
Yeah, Minecraft. already going off on Minecraft.
I'd say the one I play most is Rust.
Yeah, we
Followed by Ark.
Yeah,
By Daisy.
but what?
Last at this is Minecraft.
Yeah, you've played a lot of survival games, haven't you?
I've only got over about 100 hours in Rust, about 20 in Ark. So I've played them a lot, but I haven't sat on them all day grinding stuff.
No, but like you've played them. So
I've had my fair bit of experiences.
So in your opinion, how what do you think is the best survival game that you've played? Like which one has the most like
Rust.
deaths? Yeah. Why do you think that?
Rust or Ark or Minecraft actually. I'll get onto why in a minute. But Rust, I'd say. Well, one of the downfalls is with all these games, survival games in general, is also you need a friend, which is pretty much everything. You can't just sit there, run into a group of guys, and just instantly build a house and raid guys with them. I mean, you might be able to, but that's just not going to happen very much, and it just won't be fun. It will take hours to find that. But I like about them, there's so much to do.
Yeah, like
the survival aspect's fun. Just spawning in with nothing and then leaving with full metal armor, a huge house, and raiding. That's pretty fun.
Yeah, like you kind of the thing I love about survival games is that you kind of start in this world as like a nobody, and you kind of like build your way up to like kind of being like the king of a server. So you have everything, and you can raid whoever. So I think it's kind of that aspect of going to be top dog. That's what I love about.
Yeah, I wouldn't say the realism. I wouldn't run around and be like,
Oh my
wish
god,
I
the
was
grass
doing
looks
this
so
in real
realistic.
life. I wish I was doing this in real life.
Oh my god, the grass
Oh,
is
it's
so
so
realistic.
realistic.
The
Um,
grass.
it's not one of those games. I don't actually know any game that anyone does that with, but not judging you if you do. But I do like the yeah, like you said, start as nothing, build your way to top, and the raiding. That's also really fun.
Yeah, like
If you've ever been in a huge raid, I think I was in. I think there was at least 30 versus 10 or something, but the 10 had the higher ground. They had automatic turrets. They were more prepared. They had all their ammunition with them. They had cover. It lasted, I'd say, 20 minutes, and
yeah.
it was hilarious.
And remember when we tried to raid this tiny little house on Rust and we absolutely failed because we couldn't find the door?
Oh yeah,
We ended up
we
killing.
sat. We blew up every door, and it was a fake. It was a fake base. If you know what they are, they basically build a base that looks like it has loads of loot in. So when they blow up, all up, they waste their missiles and rockets on a base with nothing.
And then you can swoop in and murder them all with a rock. That was.
I might give you a clip in a minute, but we had this funny moment. Me and my friend, we were. I might give you the clip. It depends if you want to add it. You kind of need to watch the video to see it, and that's pretty much the opposite of what a podcast is. But I'll explain it. We were in a house. And we had C4 in the door,
Alright.
and what happened then? Oh yeah. So we ran into a room without a lock because we didn't have any locks. We were in the middle of building them, and
Alright.
they ran into the middle room,
Alright.
which connects all the rooms. And we were in one of these rooms, and they clearly knew which one 'cause it was the only one with the shut door. So they walked towards it.
Wait.
They pressed E to open, door open. We pressed E to close. It would start open, it would just keep closing, and we were about there for like 3 minutes, just opening and closing the door. And as they opened it, one ran in and we closed it, and he was inside with a gun, full metal armor. He just looked at us. We stood there naked, holding a rock, and we just clubbed him to death with a stone.
Good. Oh god. Okay. We may roll that clip. We may not do. Depends at the end if we feel like it.
Um, also, yeah, what I like about the games is there's always something to do, but after a couple hours of grinding materials and it
Yeah.
does
I
boring.
think for most survival games, there's not really much of a grinding
That
aspect unless you're like hardcore into
if
one
you don't,
survival game.
yeah, if you don't put the grinding aspect in though, it's not fun. You
Yeah.
just have all the stuff. It's like being an admin. You just spawn the stuff, you build it, and then what? You raid, yeah. You obviously going to win 'cause you have unlimited supplies. What are you
And
going to do with the supplies you've got? Nothing because you have unlimited supplies anyway. So that's just not fun.
yeah, like you
Yeah,
kind
the
of.
raiding, everything, that's probably one of the funnest aspects.
Yeah, because it can either go really smoothly and the enemy won't stand a chance, or you fail abysmally, or you bash them to death with a rock.
Right, you're getting a bit carried away.
Alright, so
Yeah, I do like the games. They're probably one of my favourite genres of games, I'd say, survival. What about you? Heard
yeah,
enough from me?
yeah. Well, I kind of agree with you. I think that although there's a grinding aspect, I think you kind of need to be super into one survival game. I don't think it's that easy to diverse from survival game to survival game.
No.
Like,
That's not.
like you can't be like, oh, I'm gonna play Rust for a couple of hours, then I'm gonna move on to Ark. I don't think.
Sometimes you have to. If you've got a colony built on each side and you need to do your part and stuff with your
Yeah,
clan, you kind of have to. And the difference is, say, between Ark and Rust, I will use these a lot because they are head-to-head AAA title sort of beta survival games. But in differences, dinosaurs obviously, that's a very fun aspect actually. Taming and stuff, it adds another aspect that isn't in Rust.
yeah. Like I
But then
see.
again, Rust has funner raids. Raids are pretty easy with dinosaurs. You just kill everyone on your
Bash through the
dinosaur.
case and murder everyone in sight.
Exactly.
Yeah, like I think for there to be a like kind of like a perfect survival game, I think it needs to have um I think raids needs to be pretty difficult. I think raids should be a challenge. Like
They are Rust.
I was gonna say, of course, some raids are quite easy, but I think if you're gonna be
Mhm.
tackling a big base, I think you need to kind of.
You need to know the base as
I
well.
think you need to know the place. I think you need to do some preparing. I think that raiding can kind of be like a whole thing on its own, because like because again you need to gather supplies, and you also need to protect your house from being raided by equipping it with all the best stuff. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword. Like not only you need to raid other people, you need to stop your base from being raided.
Mm, especially if they know who you are, like your clan, they could just raid back.
Yeah.
And there's always that threat of waking up, spawning in the next day, in real life, obviously, and everything being gone where you've been offline raided,
Yeah.
which isn't the most honourable thing to do, is raid someone without them fighting back.
So you need to
Um, you kind of always need someone, and I know it's not like that's pretty much impossible. Say if you have a clan of say 10 people, it's pretty much impossible. Say if they're all same time zone or different ones, it's pretty much impossible for always have someone on the server.
that you can like rely on. But I think
That
that
no.
but I mean I just kind of get my mind blown away with raiding because how like it's one of those things where you wouldn't expect it to be fun and then you try it and then you just want to do it again. And also another layer to raiding is that you need to calculate the risk of raiding certain places. Like if you raid just a solo player like who's got a little house and a few supplies, then probably not much will happen. But I think if you
No, you want to target the huge places because
and yeah,
they have the bigger the place, the better the defense. Obviously,
and
the more
also
explosives you'll need because
and
they'll have, for
and
example,
also
airlocks. But yeah, carry on.
I was gonna say also the bigger the raid that you do, and just say okay, you raid this massive base and you gain a ton of supplies, and that but then you've got to think what's the chance of them trying to raid us back because
Mm,
obviously they'll want their supplies back. So I think you need to calculate like not only
I
can
don't
I do
think.
this raid,
Mm,
but also can I take the attack if they try to raid back?
I think it's more will because you haven't got a clue of the profit. I think it's more will you get enough back that's worth it because you're gonna anger someone. Obviously, you don't want to have
You're gonna
enemies without making your stuff back. For example, say you need 25 C4 to get to their main loot room, two rockets, and a lot of bullets to fight with their players. Will you get enough resource to make all those again and more for next time? Or you get, say, enough to make 10 C4, two bullets, and a rocket? Is that it?
yeah like
But I doubt, I think, well, it could happen, but I've never actually encountered or seen anyone raid someone and then get so angry that they're raided back by the same guys really quickly because they're rather worried about their base again and re getting the stuff back than
yeah, but I
going
think
straight for another raid
but I
because
th-
that's really risky.
but I think at some point
Someone will, yeah.
someone's gonna end up doing something back, and I think
They
you
do,
need
they do.
you need
I know they do.
yeah
It's
you need
just
to
I've never encountered it.
and you need to think about so well yeah I just think that raiding is kind of like brings a whole nother layer to the game and puts stuff in that you would have never thought of thinking about in a survival game really.
Mm.
Yeah, so I think that's enough talk about video games today. Let us know what you want us to talk about in our next podcast. Let us know if you guys like this, and I'll see you guys on the dab side.
Have fun.
Peace.